Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite airsoft model here, the WE XM177. I think from time to time you'll see this videos of me making videos of this airsoft model right here. And you know what? It's for good reasons, because this is one of my favorite ones, and it's readily available, and it's pretty cheap, and it's actually quite a really good quality construction. One of the things I want to talk about today is someone brought up a good question about the stock model here, and if it's actually a little accurate or not, because as you know, this is supposed to be that two-position stock. And you know, despite me painting it, it doesn't make it any more realistic if the stock is kind of just not accurate, right? Historically, this is supposed to be just two positions, all the way in or all the way out, and but you know, this is actually, to answer the original question of this person was asking, is this airsoft model uses a 4-position stock, and we'll go into a little bit more details in a second. You know, and obviously that's something that isn't, you know, the end of the world. Is, no one's forcing you to, I guess, you know, use it in like the second or third position, but you know, it would have been nice for that detail to be addressed, where they actually kept it historically accurate and leave it as truly a 2-position stock. And I'm sure there's gonna be someone else who finds some other information though that might tell me that I'm wrong, and actually it's supposed to be a 4-position stock. But so with that, let's get started on this review real quick and talk about our favorite airsoft model here. One of the things that I'm kind of proud of on this channel is that we kind of go into a lot of detail. Sometimes it's a little boring for some people, but I think the people who subscribe to this channel really enjoy the information that we talk about here, and it's very, very helpful for them. So one important point when I was talking about, of course, is when I was reviewing the XM177. I kind of forgot to mention about the stock. This is something that actually, I'm surprised I didn't talk about that actually, because this is something that I would have, I'm quite passionate about actually. And within the community, especially those folks who are vintage XM177 folks who kind of know a lot about the history and stuff like that, would know that the stock was originally designed as a 2-position stock, right? So this is the original WE M733, or sorry, XM177 stock right here. The original one, of course, the real one, right, was an aluminum stock with a coating of I can't remember what the material was, but there's some kind of coating on it. I think it was some kind of nylon material, but ultimately it looked very similar to this one. It didn't have those little ribs on the side like the relatively more recent Car 15 style stock right here. There's actually a real steel one, well, like an actual one, but it's still polymer, and which is accurate to the original model. They call this like the Car 15 stock, or I believe it was called like the 2nd or 3rd generation. I get those confused, but if someone knows the exact terminology to classify what this is called, then let me know below. And then of course, the newer generation, the LE stock, looks kind of like this. This is actually a Tokyo Marui right here that I didn't really like. I'm not, well, not because it's a manufacturer issue. It's just that I don't like its design in general. I don't like the newer generation ones. I like it to keep a little old school with this one right here. But this one is the WE. So one of the things, of course, they were talking about is, hey, how many positions is this stock tube, right? And the question is, of course, as you probably have guessed, kind of consistent with WE's pattern of trying to keep their budget costs down. They are a little lazy and they kept it the same, much like the rear sight on the back, right? This one has to be changed out, but they always keep the same rear sights, whether it's a vintage A1 model or an A2. They do the same sights, so their buffer tube is no different. Or is it receiver extension? I'm not sure. But this part right here, I'll just call it the buffer tube. I think it's the receiver extension. I've seen people refer to both terminologies. I'm not an expert. I don't know. But it actually isn't a 2-position stock like the original XM177 is supposed to be. But I believe it uses the same 4-position stock. So you get the all the way in position. Oops. this is not really a locked position because it's still wobbly, so I don't consider this a position. So that 1 was all the way in, 2 is here. There we go. See, this one's like locked tight, so I will count this as position 1, position 2, position 3, all right, and finally position 4. So it's a 4-position stock. Of course, I will remove it just to demonstrate. By the way, for today, I know there are other stock tubes in case people are interested, but I don't think what we're going to talk about today, since we probably don't have time and it's a little bit more complicated, are the retractable old school stuff. The very first one seen on these classic models right here, where it's this is actually this isn't even a 2-position. This is actually a 3-position stock, which is not historically accurate either. But this has a similar buffer tube, but the design is completely different and very complicated, actually. And I think that's why they moved away from this model to simplify it. But we will talk about that another day if someone's interested, actually, which I probably will talk about it, because I do think it's interesting. I just got to work up the courage to take it apart on camera for y'all to see. All right. But back to the stock here. So to take off the original WE stock here, you kind of just flip it over, right? And then you pull the latch down like so. And then you just slide it. You can do it almost one hand. Up, maybe not. Let me see here. Pull it down and then just pull it straight out like that. All right, and that's the stock. And for those who want to know, this is kind of what the buffer tube looks like. So as you can see, you can tell it's a 4-position stock because of these are the holes right here, right? One right here, one right here, here. That's really nothing. I'm not really sure what that is. That's not really even a deep groove or anything like that. That I didn't really count. Even though it does latch on there, I don't consider that a full position because the this little lever here is still loose when it catches on to that part. So it really, I only count this one right here, this one right here, this one right here, and this one here. Thus it's a 4-position stock. So again, position number 2 right here, position number 3, and position number 4, all the way out. Man, that actually, I might mess around with this a little bit more, actually. This is actually cooler than I expected it to be. So it looks like this, actually. I don't know, maybe it's just something new because I've seen this for so long, being in the old school configuration. And pretty much all my gas blowback series use this old school configuration. Maybe once in a while it's nice to see this newer model right here. And then, of course, just for the record here, this is the Marui one. The Marui system's a little bit different. I talked a little bit about the hanging part because this was originally designed for that later generation style stock. But this is an actual one that you can use. The actual Car 15 stocks are polymer. I believe this is not of the best quality though, because I was kind of bargain hunting because I want to get stuff that's as cheap as I can. If you were to take it apart, it still kind of falls in the same category. Let me show you. Actually, before I do that, actually, position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5-position stock. So it's a little bit different, but ultimately, again, that's, see, you can tell 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I must have counted wrong. 6-position stock right there. Again, this hole is just, I don't know what that hole is for right there. But there we have it. So I guess I hope that answers your question. I hope that was kind of entertaining, and thank you for pointing that out as something that's kind of fun to watch. All right, well, hope you'll see y'all next time.